Hello, viewers. This is the second part of personality development. In the previous video, we had a beautiful discussion on the fusion of IQ and EQ, that is, intelligent quotient plus emotional quotient. Together, what kind of fusion we will have and what kind of well balanced philosophy of life that we can cultivate, that we studied. So, the fusion generally will enable us to have a great philosophy and the improvement of mind power. With that power, mind power, one can achieve anything in our life. One can forge ahead in life, even amidst a lot of hustle and bustle, any troubles, depressions, frustrations, whatsoever. See, John Milton, in his beautiful poetic drama Samson Agonistes, there, the king, who was a warrior, a very powerful king once upon a time, was now captive and put imprisoned also because he was cheated by Delilah, his own sweetheart. By joining hands with enemies, she deceived him. Anyway, Samson was captive, imprisoned, and also made blind. In that pathetic situation, Samson's father came to him. He wanted to console him. While consoling, the father says, "Oh, what is this? Where is God? What is this fate? Why my son, very powerful king, was condemned to hell like this?" Then Samson says, very beautiful lines, "Appoint not heavenly disposition, Father. Nothing of all these evils hath brought me on, but I myself have brought them on." Don't criticize God or fate or anybody else for that matter. I am the responsible for my own fate. This is what is called a doctrine of karma in our Vedic philosophy, Indian Vedic philosophy. Doctrine of karma means what we do, we shall have it in return. If we do something good will happen to us. If we do something bad in our life, something bad only we will be facing in our life. Doctrine of karma. So the persons who have that fusion of IQ and EQ will believe in this beautiful doctrine of karma. So everything is there in our mind itself. So mind power must be in such a way. That's why John Milton, the same poet, says in Paradise Lost that mind is everything. Mind is its own place. In itself can make a heaven and heaven into hell. It means that by our mind we can make heaven into hell and hell into heaven. Everything is there in our mind itself, he says. So that is the mind power which can be obtained, an eternal mind power which can be obtained by the fusion of intelligent quotient and emotional quotient. See, this is very difficult to attain, most difficult in practical life, but very surprisingly we can notice this kind of personality trait, a great personality trait features in our police department, from a high level officer, DIG, Inspector General, and onwards down to Superintendent of Police district level, DSP, SP, Superintendent of Police, DSP, CI, even SI, Sub Inspector of Police. All these people will have such kind of fusion, IQ and EQ. Intelligent quotient will be there, and at the same time, there will be the equation with the emotional quotient. So both are equated. IQ must be equated with the EQ, that is intelligent emotional quotient. Otherwise, the entire IQ power, that is intellectual power, will be of no go. So the success lies in balance of these two. If such balance is missed, what will happen? Taking, for instance, Pythagoras, a great mathematician and also a physician, and Andreas Vesalius, anatomy professor, what will happen to these people by missing the balance, or we can say the fusion of IQ and EQ. What happened to Pythagoras? Let's have a small discussion about it. Pythagoras was a great mathematician and also a physician. A patient came to him suffering from some problem with fingers. His fingers were stuck without any flexible movement. Both the hands, fingers, stuck like this. Pythagoras, instead of giving treatment to the fingers, he has arranged blasting to the complete waist, round the waist. The patient got angry. What is this? He was mentally upset. What is this? Is he confused? See, my problem is with the fingers, unable to have a flexible movement. But this man has done arrangement, blasting everything here around the waist. What is this? Why are you getting confused? He asked. Then Pythagoras did not say anything, excepting just giving a wonderful slap on his face. He was bewildered. The patient was bewildered like anything. Then the compounder said, don't criticize his treatment. He is a very intellectual man, intellectual doctor, great high intellect. You go and come tomorrow. You will get angry. Go. So after 2 days he came back. Anyway, recovered. His policy, his thinking, his intelligence is, his intellect says that, see, all the nerves will start from our waist, from this part. So treatment must be given there. If treatment is given there, our nervous system will be bettered. That is his intellectual. He is a great genius. His intellect says like that as a doctor. But he has the IQ here, but no emotional quotient, no EQ. The same is the case with Andreas Vesalius also, anatomy professor, some 14th or 15th century, 15th century, I think. I have forgotten his native country, maybe Sicily. He was an anatomy professor. During that time, the education institutions were under the control of religion. At that time, the rule is, even if he is a doctor or any physician, whosoever, a professor of anatomy, should not bring the dead bodies or any other live things. He should not bring here and show as a dissection. You should not show that to the students, medical students. Everything should be only on the diagram. He has to draw the diagram and explain. But this Andreas Vesalius used to bring the dead body. If any dead body is there, he used to bring that body and arrange here, cut into pieces and say, this is lungs, this is intestines, and this is heart, liver, everything he will be showing. That is quite against the rules and regulations of the Christian institutions. The inspector came and made an objection to that. What is this nonsense going on here? You are not supposed to do such type of thing, nasty thing here. This is against rules and regulations of the institution. Then he has been blessed with wonderful IQ, but he has been lagging behind at EQ, emotional quotient. He got emotional. And immediately he shouted at them, what nonsense you are doing? You get lost from a classroom. You should not enter at all. When I was teaching here, why should you come? No, get lost from here. He shouted at them and he was dismissed from the service. And everywhere he was dishonored because of his aggressive nature and emotional nature, emotional mood. Anyway, he fled to Italy. There, he was absorbed in writing different beautiful research ideas about anatomy. After 20 years, exactly after 20 years, in this country, Sicily, in this country, people realized, because a lot of change has come, change has occurred. They realized, oh my God, what wonderful books he has written on anatomy. If we bring that man and get the things clarified by his explanation, we can still more improve anatomy. Immediately they found out the address of Andrews Vesalius, they invited him. They, and finally, what happened on the way, shipwreck, of course, he died there itself. So, in spite of his eloquent intelligence and IQ, he has been seriously lagging in emotional quotient, because which what has happened, he has not rose to an occasion. He could not rise to an occasion. So that kind of fusion must be always it should be innate in our mind and body. So another important aspect in personality development is a man of good personality will always respect the other's views. In our society, all people will not have the same mentality, same propensities, same philosophy of life. Different people will have different philosophies of life. We should not attack them. We should not criticize. Rather, we have to respect the culture, respect their ideas, respect their views, even their philosophy of life. See, for example, taking an instance of Akine Nageswar Rao, who was a Dada Palke awardee and also long-standing cine hero and more than 60 years of acting in cine field, who entered in the Guinness Book also, Guinness Book of World Records, Akkineni Nageswara Rao, and his close friend T. Subbaram Reddy. He was an industrialist. Both have been very close friends, bosom friends. But surprisingly, both are South Pole and North Pole. One is religious. Therefore, Subbaram Reddy is a religious man. Nageswara is not religious. Therefore, Subbaram Reddy was a pakka theist, whereas Nageswara Rao is an atheist. Both views are quite different, South Pole and North Pole. Still, they have been very, very good friends, bosom friends, just because of one thing, that they have the feeling of attachment, emotional attachment, and they respect each other's feelings. Akineni respects Ram Reddy's feelings, and Ram Reddy accepts his opinions, his views of life, philosophy of life, everything for that matter. So, a man of good personality will always have the kind of the quality of respecting the other people. That is one of the most important personality traits, because in our day-to-day life we will not accept other people's opinions. We will be always contradicting, otherwise criticizing, otherwise backbiting, otherwise at least tinged with the prejudice. What he says, when he says, we have to accept. Is it a final philosophy? See, we have our own idea, we have our own philosophy. We need not accept his idea. So that kind of a contradictory mind will be generally, it is quite innate in the mind of the people. That should be obliterated as a now, as an when it occurs, it appears, or it enters in our mind. That is one of the most important personality traits that we have to cultivate. And how these traits will further strengthen our character, our personality, we shall see in the next part of the topic. Thank you.